My name is Kevin Bode, and I'm here tonight to speak to you both as a member of the Music for the Gut community and as someone who's been suffering from Crohn's disease for 10 years now. Now, some of you here have probably heard me talk about my story, my journey with Crohn's disease before, so I'm sorry if some of this is repetitive, but the new spin I kind of want to try and put on this tonight, because I want to switch it up every time, is I want to try and kind of conceptualize for you what it's like to be living with a disease that currently has no cure, and why events such as this one are so important. But before I get into that, I do need to provide some context and background of my own story. So much like the human family, Crohn's and colitis runs in my family, with both my dad and my grandma having it. Because of this, it wasn't much of a surprise when I was then diagnosed when I was 14 years old. The diagnosis period was pretty rough, as it usually is for anyone who goes through this kind of thing, because trying to find the right medication or treatment is really just kind of a trial and error process, and every new medication you try has its own unique side effects, we'll say, I guess. But eventually we landed on one that did the trick for me, and honestly, for the next few years, the next entire period in my life, really, I was able to live relatively symptom-free. Yes, I would have the occasional flare-up and everything, but compared to a lot of my counterparts living with some form of this disease, I was leading what I now call a blissfully ignorant existence. To me, at that point in my life, I really, truly didn't understand the gravity of living with a disease with no cure. However, that all changed for me last summer. On an unassuming night in June last year, I woke up with abdominal pain like I had never experienced before in my life with this disease. And I immediately knew something was wrong. But me, being the big stupid idiot that I am, tried to just tough it out for an hour. And then I eventually started puking, and then I decided to quit being a hero, and I woke up my roommates and got them to drive me to the hospital. We got there at about 2 in the morning. The doctors put me on a lot of drugs, including fentanyl, which I didn't even know they used for medicinal purposes. And they began running some tests. By 10 o'clock that morning, the doctor told me that I was going to need emergency surgery to remove part of my small intestine. And it was at that point I figured it might be a good idea to call my parents, who actually happened to be in Kelowna at the time. So that was really good. They managed to get my mom on a flight while my dad had to drive the car back. And she somehow miraculously made it back to the hospital here in Saskatoon before they took me in for surgery at about 6 o'clock that night. When I came out, they had removed 2.5 feet of my small intestine. And thus began what was easily, far and away, the most difficult period of my life, not only physically, but also mentally, as I went through the entire recovery process. I won't get into the nitty-gritty details of all of that, but I can honestly say that I literally would not have made it through that entire ordeal alive if not for the support of the amazing and caring people in my life. Ever since then, this is still relatively recent in the grand scheme of things, but I've had a better understanding of what it means to be living with a disease with no cure. I've just been living my life relatively symptom-free, and this disease was still able to come out of nowhere and just absolutely blow everything in my life apart. It stole a month of my life from me, and I'm honestly lucky it wasn't more. And ever since that happened, I've been so much more aware of this disease's ever-looming presence in my life, and the presence in the lives of everyone else who suffers from one of these diseases. Even now, I can't go into a hospital or a doctor's office without having anxiety about what might happen, or they might tell me that my meds have stopped working, or anything like that. It's without a cure, it's like living with this giant shadow constantly lurking behind me, whatever I do and wherever I go. On most days, I'm aware of its presence, but it allows me to go my daily life without inhibiting me. But on other days, it hangs directly above my head, reminding me of its presence by, telling me that I shouldn't eat something, or asking me if I know where the nearest bathroom is, or telling me that people are going to be grossed out by my disease. Or, on the worst days, it's just standing there holding a sign that says, "I will probably be what kills you someday." And sometimes it's not my name on that sign. Sometimes it's my dad's, sometimes it's my grandma's, sometimes it's one of my friends who has one of these diseases. And sometimes, maybe most upsettingly, the reality of it is sometimes it's, my future children who I very well may pass on this disease to because there is no cure. So, those of us who live with these diseases, we try our best to not let them dictate our lives. But without a cure, that shadow will always be there, creating fear and uncertainty, always making us wonder when it's and turn everything upside down. And that's why events such as this one are so important. And I know maybe some of the performers are also here for their love of performing, and some of you here maybe just be here to support your friends who are performing. But just by being here, you are supporting such an important cause that has affected myself and my family, the Houghton family, and the 250,000 people across Canada who live with one of these diseases. And so from the bottom of my heart, I just want to offer you all my deepest and sincerest gratitude to all of our performers and to all of you who are here tonight attending. Because seeing you all here, knowing that this community exists, knowing the Houghton family is doing all this work, that Music for the Gut has grown to where it is today, knowing that just gives me hope that someday we will find a cure. So please, just continue to spread the word about these events, and we hope to see all of you and more at our main